All right. I was discussing about the contents of Stata 15. I was discussing that in case of dynamic panel modeling, we will cover endogeneity, difference GMM, and system GMM. Some of the techniques that were suggested by Mr. Radhanan Afzal will also be included in this part. And as a final part, we will also cover simultaneous regression modeling like 2SLS, 3SLS, and SLS technique. So these are the overall contents of Stata 15 trainings that we will cover in different days in our session. But for today, we have we have the focus of these contents. Like I have told you, first of all, I have introduced myself. Then we have the introduction of participant. Then we have discussed the detailed course contents up to 15th content. Uh, Now, method of assessment. Method of assessment, I have decided two method of assessment for your learning. The first method is basically question and answer session. At the end of each session, at the end of each training session, you are allowed to ask whatever you would like to ask related to that session. I will answer those things in order to make you clear about your learning experience. The second assessment that I would like to assess is the weekend based assessment task. After you have completed 7 days training, I will give you a data set from my side, and I will give you some you can say requirements that you need to analyze your data according to those requirements that you have learned throughout that week. So if you have learned in 7 days, like for example 10 to 15 techniques, I will provide a data set and I will assess your learning to those techniques during 7 days. So these are the method of assessment that I am going to apply. As today is the first day, so we need to wait for 7 days to complete, or I will provide data set on Sunday in order to test your assessment. So next is the software installation. As our software is already installed, so we don't need to consider software installation. The next thing is basic environment and screen layout familiarity of your software. That is setup 15. So overall content we have experience that we are going to conduct with setup 15. In screen layout and understanding of the screen layout of Strata 15, we may have different criteria that we can apply here, like understanding the screen layout and tools, understanding the menu bars, opening and saving files and data, understanding the output windows. So let us start right from Strata 15. As I have told you with respect to Strata 15 that we don't need to install it. We can just double click it and we can use it. So it looks like this. So first of all, you need to be familiar with the basic environment of Strata 15. It is not different from Strata 12, Strata 11, Strata 13. It looks like similar, but every time, whenever some advancement is done, whenever some recent development is done in terms of some menus or some features or some latest models, a new version basically comes. Uh, at present, Stata has issued version 18, which is not available to everyone. It is basically a paid version. Actually, all of these Stata versions are paid, but the 15 version is accessible because this is provided as a ready to use version with with a serial number. So we are going to use it. It is basically provided by our license to downloadly.ir. So we are going to use this type of version. So how to analyze the basic screen? First of all, you can see the Stata slash IC 15.0. This is basically the title bar. It indicates you the name of the software and basic version of the software. The next row indicates you the menu bar. Here you can see file menu, edit menu, data menu, graphics menu, statistics menu, user menu, window menu, and help menu. Always remember that Stata works with three methods of analysis. The first method is basically the menu method. Whenever you have some data and you would like to analyze that data, you can apply different menus for analysis of that data. We have different options for it. The second thing is the command window operation. We can analyze the data using different commands like regression commands, like correlation commands. And the third and the latest technique is basically script technique, which is basically the programming technique. It is similar to like R programming or Python programming. Even you can also create your own commands, your own analysis procedure using the script procedure of Stata. Stata has three ways to analyze your data. The first is menu, the second is command, and the third one is basically the script procedure, which is not basically we are going to use. We are going to use either the command procedure or we are going to use either the menu procedure. First of all, you need to see what options do you have using the menu procedure. For example, if you click on the file menu button, you have procedure, you have the options like open. If you already have some file or already have some data that you would like to open, you can use the open command. You can view the data, you can use the do file name, change working directly. You can create the log files. You can import the data if it is available in different versions. Like if you have Excel data, you can import the Excel data set from here. You can import the CSV file from here. And it is also supported in different types of version of importing the data. Then we may have export command. If I have run some procedure and I would like to export the data set into some other format, because whenever you are saving some data, like for example, I would like to show you here, you can see auto.dta file. This is basically a data set, and .dta indicates the format of the data set which is acceptable by the Stata. So whenever you save some data set into SPSS, it it automatically converts the file of that data set into .dta file. So always remember that by default, Stata save the file into DTA format. But you have the options that you can export your file or you can save your file into different formats. Like you would like to save your file into Excel, XLS. You want to save your file into CSV or any other format. For example, let's suppose I would like to open that file that I have shown you, auto.dta. This is basically Stata file. So I double click it and you can see that on the right side, the variables are appearing. This is basically uh, auto.dta file. These are the variables that contains in this file. So let's suppose I would like to export this file into some other formats. So I go to export, I go to XLS. It is giving error because it is already not copied the whole file. I will share with you the whole file because during copying the file, it was taking too much time that it could not copy the whole file. So don't worry, I will share it. But I want to know that using this function will create your data set into different formats. And if your data set is already in different format, you can import this from here. This will show you the recent files that you have used. At present, we are using auto.dta file, so we can see over here. And if we would like to exit our Stata, we can exit from here. And we can do it directly from here. Then the next option is edit option. If we would like to copy something, if we would like to copy a table as a HTML, copy as a picture, we have different options. Sometimes we need an editable version of the table. We can simply copy table. Sometimes we need to have a non-editable version of the table. We can then copy as a picture. We have a paste command. If we have copied something and we would like to paste, you can use this command. Select all command. If I would like to select something from here, I can use select all command. Clear result window. This is basically uh, the command window, and this is basically the result window. And if you would like to clear the result window, you can use this button. Similarly, find option, find next option, table copy option. If you would like to copy a table, you have a lot of options here. Like if we select table copy options, remove all, remove none, smart remove. This option is available in Stata 15, but previously there were different options. Then we have preferences options here, journal preferences, graph preferences, user interface language, node preferences, save preferences, delete preferences, result file association, and so on. These are some of the tools that we do not actually require. We just need to know what are these. Then we have some options available in data menu, like describe data. If we would like to describe or we would like to consider the descriptive analysis, you can see here describe data contents. Like in case of primary data, we need to see the code book. So here you can create the code book, or you can basically see the code book of the data. For example, if I click here, it is not opening because the file is not working right now. All right. Then we have some of the options like inspect variables. It is basically used to inspect your variables, especially its type, its category, etc. List data, compactly list variable names, summary statistics, and so on. We have a lot of options here. Then we have data editor options. If we need to edit some data, we can use these buttons. Create or change data. We can create new variable from there. We can create new variable with extended options from here. Other variable creation commands. We can have interaction, expansion, create indicator variable, linearly interpolate, extrapolate values, draw sample from normal distribution, create dataset with specified correlation. There are a lot of options here, but we will use the options step by step. Other variable transformation, you can even transform your variables whenever we need to check the normality, linearity of the data. And sometimes the data becomes non-linear or non-normal. We need to transform the data. So we can even transform the data from wide to long or from long to wide. We can encode the string variable because the string variable is basically considered as a qualitative variable. Sometimes by mistake or by some error, some variable this data considered as a string variable. So whenever we are going to analyze those variable for data, this data is not going to run the analysis. So we need to convert that data from string variable to numeric variable in order to make the analysis workable. So there are some procedure. You can even decode your string variables to numeric variable, convert variable from string to numeric. So there are a lot of commands here. uh, you need to learn these commands. I will teach actually some of these commands for your facility. Then add or intersect observation, drop or keep observation. There are a lot of options here. Then there are data utility options here. You can explore from here a lot of options. Combined data set, if you have two different data sets and you want to merge two different data set, then there is a command of combined data set. So you don't need to worry about a data set if you need to merge them. Then we have a lot of other options here. Then, as I have already told you, there are graphical visualization of data. You can run different types of graphs like two-way graph, bar chart, dot chart, pie chart, histogram, box plot, scattered matrix, distributional graph, and so on. There are a lot of options available here. We have 10 minutes left, and I would like to complete this session. All right. We have a lot of options here for graphical interpretation of data. Like you can see here, the symmetry plot, quantile plot, normal quantile plots, and so on. You can also find here the histogram, box plot, distribution box plot, and so on. Then you may have time series graph. These are the graphs which are being used in time series analysis, like line plot, parallelogram, partial parallelogram, peridogram, cumulative spectral histogram, and so on. Multivariate time series graphs you have here. Like I have told you that I have also included the multivariate data analysis. So in case of multivariate time series graphics, you can use these graphs. We also have some panel data line plots, survival analysis graphs. This is some advanced techniques which are not relevant to our domain. Then we may have ROC analysis, non-parametric ROC curve, parametric ROC curve, and so on. We may have multivariate analysis graphs. There are different graphs that you can apply. There are more statistical graphs, managed graphs. You can also manually manage your graphs, like you can rename the graph, you can copy graph in a memory, you can close the graph, you can replay multiple graphs, you can drop the graph, and so on. There are a lot of options here. Then one of the most important menu which we frequently use in Stata is the statistics. This is the basic menu which we are going to use more frequently. If we want to estimate the summary statistic or descriptive statistic, so this is the options that is available to us, like summary statistic, like means, proportion, ratios, total, pairwise comparison of means, and so on. There are a lot of options here. Then we may have frequency tables like one-way table, like multi one-way table, all possible two-way tables, and table calculator. Then we have other tables option, classical test of hypothesis like t-test, T test calculator, Z test, and so on. Proportion test also. Non-parametric test. If our data is non-parametric, it means if our data is not normal, what options do we have for hypothesis testing as a mean comparison? We may have one sample Kolmogorov Samiro test or KS test, two sample KS test, Crystal Valleys rank test. These are the tests I will teach you during mean comparison as a part of mean comparison method. Then we may have distributional plot like symmetry plot, quantile plot, normal quantile plots, and so on. Uh, Here, Shapiro-Wilk test, it is basically used for normality testing. This is also called SW normality test, skewness and kurtosis normality test. So if you would like to test the normality of your data, you can apply one of these three tests, either skewness and kurtosis normality test, either Shapiro-Wilk normality test, either Shapiro-Francisia normality test. So these three are used for normality testing of your data. So you can use these tests. Then we may have linear models. We have the option to run the linear regression model. We can check the regression diagnostic from here. We have a lot of options here. We have ANOVA, MANOVA techniques for testing more than two groups mean comparison. We have constrained linear regression. If we have a condition in our regression analysis, we can use the constrained linear regression. So these are the techniques that you can apply using your data. We have censored regression like Tobit interval. We may have heteroscedastic linear regression. We may have endogenous covariates. We may have sample selection models. There are a similar tool which are being used by most of our researchers, panel data modeling, linear model like fixed effect, random effect, Lagrange multiplier test, panel ARDL, random coefficient regression by GLS, dynamic panel data. These are the estimations available to us. Censored outcomes, contemporaneous correlation, frontier models. So we have available here a lot of techniques, uh, and it is difficult that we can cover all of them, but we have selected most of them or the most important part of them. Similarly, if your dependent variable is binary, you may have a lot of techniques that you need to apply. So we also cover this technique. We may have ordinal logistic regression options. We may have categorical output. So we are going to use also these techniques. We may have count dependent variable. We may have fractional output. We may have generalized linear model like GLM, etc. We may have time series regression model, as I have also included the stationary and non-stationary based regression models. So how to set up your time series analysis, how to run ARIMA and AR max model, Arch Garch model, and so on. There are a lot of models here. So there are a lot of techniques. All right, 3 minutes left. All right, don't worry. I will cover this. Basically, today's session is about the basic familiarity, what we can use from this screen. So in statistic, uh, only one or two options are there. So we will cover this. If you want to consider survey data like primary data analysis, you can also cover these from here from Stata. Similarly, we may have user menu, we may have window menu, and we have help options. I will let you know in the next session how to use the help bar option. So you have menu bar, you have title bar, you have toolbar. This is the toolbar. The most important options here is the data editor option. You can see here a pencil is appearing in a table. So you need to click it and it will show you your data set, and you can see your data set, your variables, different variables, and you can see what is being contained in these variables. So we will apply this. You just need to cross it from here, and you will go back here. So this is basically the data we are going to use. So let's suppose we want to run a simple regression command. You just need to write rex. You need to select one of your variable as a dependent variable. For example, I would like to select mpg as a dependent variable. Uh, just a minute. Select mpg. Then you need to select the independent variable. For example, price, make. You just single click any of these variables and come back here and press the enter button. It is not running the command because the software is not completely copied here. I will share the revised file from my system at your WhatsApp number, uh, and we will apply different analysis techniques from the next session. So if you have any question, you may ask. Do you have any question? Yes, Satyanarayana sir. I can't hear.
Thank you so much.